Hello, everybody. I'm editing this episode of The Posh Guy Who Likes Wrestling right now, and I've only just managed to lose all of the video. So, it's an audio episode this week, and to give you something to look at, here is an artist rendering of me. And there we are. Get used to looking at that. On with the show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm the Posh Guy Who Likes Wrestling. Now, this episode is later than usual and shorter than usual. So, it was a weird week for the WWE. Basically, the fallout from the Royal Rumble seems to have broken the climate. Yes, a blizzard rained down on the east of the United States, basically closing roads and forcing WWE Raw to seek shelter. Just, I guess, Mother Nature's a Daniel Bryan fan. Monday Night Raw! So we start Monday Night Raw, the highest rated Monday Night Raw in many weeks, with a shoot promo from a Blizzard. Basically, he turns up, gets a quick ratings boost, causes controversy, and then leaves immediately. Typical fucking part-timer. So the Blizzard says, and it turns out the whole episode is being filmed at WWE headquarters. No crowd, everyone just talking to each other in really soft, almost delicate, intimate tones. It's quite a seductive episode, this. But we start with JBL on the roof. I mean, we know it's snowing. We don't need to see JBL on the roof. But we're putting him on the roof anyway. Because fuck JBL. So basically, to fill time, they're going to show the entirety of the Triple Threat match and the entirety of the Royal Rumble match. Wow, if it didn't already feel bad to be a pay-per-view buyer, it really feels bad to be a pay-per-view buyer. Hey, remember that thing yesterday that you paid $50 for? No? So, there's an interview with Seth Rollins. Only a couple of main talking points. First, he corrects me. It wasn't a corkscrew 450 splash. It was a Phoenix splash. So, fuck me, I guess. He says his performance at the Rumble will speak for itself and that he deserves to be in the main event scene too fucking right. After the break, we get Brock entering. There's a little powwow between him and Seth. Seth pushes the chair over like a petulant child and scampers away. I like that. I thought that was funny. Only a couple of points from this interview. First of all, long, lingering close-up of Brock Lesnar's impassive face as he just stares at Michael Cole gets a bit awkward after a while. And second, Paul Heyman is the creepiest motherfucker alive. Okay, because, you know, when he's doing his whole Brock Lesnar, when he's doing that, you know, at least you kind of, okay, he's shouting at me, so there's kind of a distance there. But when he's talking really softly about Brock Lesnar, what did you expect? What did you expect about Brock Lesnar? It gets really creepy really soon, right? I mean, I'm genuinely upset by Paul Heyman's seductive, quiet voice. It makes me feel uncomfortable in my area. Okay, then we get Roman Reigns. Now, of course, we're on damage control here, because Roman Reigns was booed out of the building on the Royal Rumble. Now, he answers his critics with humility. You know, he says that, hey, he even admits, yes, I may have been chosen, but I'm the one who has to go out there and perform. He's always adapted from an early age. You know, he was thrown into the water to learn how to swim, and he says he likes swimming with sharks. It's not how you teach a kid to swim, by throwing him in with sharks. He mentions a lot of his family, you know, he comes from a long line of great wrestlers. And this has a kind of double-edged sword, because yes, it does slightly make him seem more legitimate, but it also really makes the WWE seem like a closed shop, and that he's just getting help from his family to get to this point. You know, Uncle Dwayne coming down and saving his ass. All I'm saying is it doesn't help the whole Daniel Bryan thing, because Daniel Bryan doesn't have any relations in the business and got here by himself. So, Triple H is to call out Sting for a confrontation at Fastlane. Fair enough. Okay, so it's definitely Sting versus Triple H at WrestleMania. Good. Renee Young talking to Daniel Bryan. He talks about last year, how he was never supposed to main event WrestleMania, how the fans forced the people to change their minds, which makes you think, hey, maybe this is going to happen again. But then he takes full responsibility for losing at the Royal Rumble. He says, that was purely on me. I let everyone down. Fuck. Okay, they're probably not going to put him in the main event. Shit. Well, okay. You know, he talks about the storyline that could have been. Don't torture us, bruh. He talks about how he's the ultimate David to Brock's ultimate Goliath, how he never lost a title, how the story, seemed to write itself. Because it fucking did! Final interview, which is Paul Heyman conducting an interview between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. A lot of homoerotic tension here. Paul does his best to make this angle seem interesting. He talks about Brock's history with The Rock, who of course is Roman Reigns' uncle, and he talks about how Brock has basically laid waste to his family. Roman, how will you face your family when you lose? Brock says he doesn't respect anyone, he doesn't respect Reigns. Reigns says, you will. And then they have the manliest handshake in history. Anyway, that show was really weird. Monday Night Raw was really, really strange. And a very it's the calm after the storm, caused by a storm. Even if the storm wasn't legitimate, I could sort of see them doing this anyway. They have to go to ground. They have to go to crisis talks, and how the fuck they're going to get Roman Reigns over in time for WrestleMania. Friday Night SmackDown! Hey! Wrestling! Okay, so we open with a promo from Triple H. That's rare. Triple H comes out and for some reason plays the babyface. He also takes a weird shot at the NFL, talking about balls. He mentions balls a lot. About the WWE having really nice balls. Like the WWE have the prettiest balls. And he mentions, to whet all of our appetites, that come Monday Night Raw, he's going to make a huge announcement concerning the controversy. Triple H says, now if there's one thing the WWE doesn't like, it's being told what to do. Haha, fuck you too, WWE. Now, there were some boos for Roman Reigns there, but they weren't as loud as I thought they would be, because, maybe it was just good kind of matadoring by Triple H. He addressed the boos and then quickly changed the subject, and then he mentioned the Royal Rumble, but then quickly talked about something else. So he kind of spread the boos out, so he never really had that chance to, really chant Daniel Bryan that loudly. I don't know if that was on purpose, but that's good damage control. Out come Roman Reigns. He said there is no controversy. I guess there isn't, and said that he run the Royal Rumble match, and then there are boos. Then there are loud boos. Okay, so this still might be a thing. First match, Roman Reigns versus The Big Show. Oh god, it's already happening. They're chanting, let's go Roman, Roman sucks. Okay, the torch has been passed, nothing can stop him now. Oh god, we got fucking 10 more years of Roman Reigns. Reigns gets beaten down a lot. He mounts Big Show in the corner, smacks the shit out of him, does a really dominant clothesline over the top rope. That's the sort of elimination we should have seen at the Royal Rumble, not the very slowly, over you go, sonny one, which we actually got. Reigns builds momentum, fights off a leg injury, lots of cheers with a solid foundation of boos. It's fucking... I know they wanted to make a Cena clone in Roman Reigns. I just didn't realise how exactly they wanted to make a Cena clone with Roman Reigns. Big Show goes to the top rope, a couple of Superman punches, and then Roman Reigns throws him off. That's legitimately impressive, and it was a fair enough athletic contest. 1, 2, 3 after the spear, Roman Reigns gets the victory. Yeah, it felt like he got the crowd more on his side as he went along and started demonstrating, some real strength and power and some actual dominance rather than, taking a nap in the corner, as Steve Austin said. He's still got crowd support. This isn't Batista. He's not a returning part-timer, so he still has some support. This is going to be a weird one. Out comes Seth Rollins with J&J Security, talks about how he broke Brock Lesnar's rib, ba-ba-da-ba-doo-ba-dee. He's got a briefcase, ba-ba-doo-ba-dee-ba-doo. Out comes Ryback. He gets jumped, out comes Rowan, he gets jumped, out comes Ziggler. Okay, I know a 6-man tag when I see one. Oh, there isn't one. Oh. Backstage promo with Kane and a coffin. Insert, I don't know who was more wooden than who joke here. Out comes Jey Uso, and I'm saying it right now, if he's facing either The Miz or Mizdow, I'm literally going to shit. Oh, he's not! Oh, thank Christ. Oh, thank Christ for that. Okay, no, that's good. Okay, he's facing... Ooh, Tyson Kidd. Okay, I wonder how the... Okay, the match is over. Fine. Fine, then. I guess that's what happens. I guess the Usos will be fighting Tyson Kidd and Cesaro for the next 4 weeks. In varying combinations. Fine. Also, name Tyson Kidd's finisher. I don't know what it's called. I want to know what it's called. because it doesn't feel like a real finisher unless it has a name. Alright, out comes Rusev. Okay, yep, they're going the Rusev-Cena route at Fastlane. That was confirmed on Monday Night Raw. Well, it's happening. Rusev is facing the Ultimate Challenge. He's facing what Bray Wyatt faced before him, what the Nexus faced before him. They're going up against the Cena Machine at a Big Four pay-per-view. This is almost guaranteed to end in tears. Now, I'm not saying that Rusev's undefeated streak has to last forever. It shouldn't. But if it's going to end, then someone should get a big rub from it. And that person shouldn't be Cena, because he doesn't need it, because he's a 15-time fucking world champion. No, like Ziggler ending his streak, that would promote Ziggler, right? Daniel Bryan, someone else, anyone else. So what has to happen here, surely, is that, well, there can't be a clean finish at Fastlane. Obviously, it's a B pay-per-view, and the streak sort of is a big deal, and John Cena's a big deal. So they're going to go to WrestleMania. John Cena should put Rusev over. Now, I know WrestleMania is where all the good guys win, but what's the point if it's just going to be another kind of, okay, thank you, Rusev, you're done now, bye? Because the streak, you know, he's got a lot going for him, but the streak is great, right? And streaks are made to run and run if they're truly going to be significant. Undertaker, Goldberg, etc. So have him continue a streak at WrestleMania, because not a lot of people think he's gonna. John Cena has this huge reputation of winning the big one at WrestleMania. So how about he doesn't? How about Rusev surprises everyone and keeps the streak alive? Suddenly he's main event heel caliber instantly, and then whoever does finally beat him is right up there in the main event with him. Cena comes out and he says, I was holding on to that championship before you had pubes and you had boobs. And John Cena does his whole typical, I'm gonna talk for ages, building the intensity in my voice, and I'm gonna say the word Jack occasionally to describe talking to a person, because the champ is here! Paige and Nikki have a title shot at Fastlane. Alright, you know Paige lost at the Royal Rumble, right? Just doesn't make sense. And was there a thing? Is there a reason why they're fighting? Like, not Natalya, but Paige? Is it a Total Divas thing? I'm not going to watch it. You can't make me. So Paige is taken out by the Bellas backstage. I mean, fair enough, that's one way to start a feud, but it can't just be that. Okay? Develop something. Maybe Paige goes psycho on Brie. Maybe there's a sort of anti-hero thing going on. Maybe she kidnaps Brie and Nikki gets slimed looking for her, or something. I don't know. Just not just this. Because I get the feeling they're just going to leave it at this and just have Paige on commentary during a Bella match or something. There's a magician backstage. Alright. Yeah, those tricks are impressive. And Miz ended up with egg on his face. Literally on his face. I like that. I like the Miz getting egg on his face. Hopefully nothing ruins it. Oh, R-Truth says the yoke's on you. Fuck you. Fuck everything. Promo from Bray Wyatt. He says he fears nothing alive or dead. Undertaker? And the main event, Kane versus Daniel Bryan in a casket match. This was really weirdly sluggish. Now, first of all, casket matches tend to be rubbish for one reason, which is that it's really hard to get excited about very slowly pushing someone into a box, okay? What you end up having is the same set piece over and over again. You're in a box, I'm pushing you, but go in the box. No, I don't want to go in the box. Go in the box. Would you just get in the box? Okay, here's the thing. Now, I've got nothing against Kane. He's really put his dues in. Same with the Big Show. But you look at Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. These are very young, athletic guys, and, you know, the WWE is resting on both of their shoulders, realistically at the moment, their future at least. So why are they putting Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan in the ring with 50-year-old men? And I tell you why. It's because the WWE still thinks that size is everything. They think that it's an impressive victory if you can beat a big guy. And it is if the big guy creates an exciting match out of it, if it feels like there's jeopardy. But Kane and Big Show both lost too many times for a victory over either of them to actually feel like it means anything. And all we get now are slow matches, because they're slow men, because they're big, and it takes them a while to walk. So we end up with Bryan and Reigns, to a lesser extent, desperately trying to ring general and trying to keep this sense of momentum going and going and going and going, when, you know, just Kane is just hitting quite slowly. Kane's brilliant, and I think it's amazing that he still looks as good as he does, but he's not the right opponent for Daniel Bryan. As soon as Daniel Bryan won the World Heavyweight Championship after WrestleMania last year, they put him up against Kane. No, put him up against someone exciting. Put him up against a Seth Rollins or a Dolph Ziggler. You know, someone who can get a fucking amazing match out of him, because then he's associated with amazing matches. And that's how you really start to build his credibility as a main event guy, by putting on matches that draw "this is awesome" chants. And, you know, there were some spots, I guess, he hit. You know, he got hit with a chair, he suicide dived, he did all his typical high-octane Daniel Bryan spots, desperately trying to get the crowd into it. But the whole thing felt a bit sluggish. And, you know, the only innovative spot at all was, what, the yes lock inside the casket? That's it? Yeah, Daniel Bryan won, stood on top of the casket. It's great that he won the feud, and great that he kind of closed the show. He didn't really, because they flashed back to Triple H at the end of the show, so Triple H closed the show. It was a B+ match, and Daniel Bryan shouldn't be having any more of those. So here's my thoughts on a thing. Did the WWE dodge a bullet with the Blizzard? Because what it was originally going to happen was we were going to have Monday Night Raw the next day, hot off the heels of #cancel WWE Network, off the heels of all the boos, all the animosity still in the air, and probably would have opened Monday Night Raw with heavy Daniel Bryan chants, probably a lot of booing, but instead we got this really sedate, laid back, very carefully orchestrated Raw, emanating live from the WWE headquarters. Now this gave the WWE the opportunity to very carefully try and defuse this bomb. They had Paul Heyman coming in with excellently written promos, hyping up Roman Reigns and his match with Brock Lesnar, trying to add intrigue, make it mean something. We had Roman Reigns being humble. We have Daniel Bryan sort of accepting responsibility for his loss. Now all that is great for the WWE, because it means that not only do we get time on their side, time heals all wounds. You know, they don't have to record until Thursday, you know, when everyone's sort of, the dust has settled, everyone's taken a few deep breaths. They get to present Reigns in a good light. They get to put over Reigns, you know, with Paul Heyman. And then we emanate on Thursday, and yeah, the boos are noticeably less than I thought. So, yeah, the Blizzard really... So yeah, the Blizzard in some way might be bailing out WWE at a time where they really don't deserve to be bailed out. Did Vince McMahon call in a favour from... I mean, I know he's powerful. Or, you know, it might not be a thing, and as soon as we get to Raw, everyone starts booing Reigns out of the building, and then we still might have to change the match. I don't know. So, where we were last week, oh, let's find out what happens on WWE Raw regards the controversy, that got stalled for a week. You know, really weird week. Match of the week? The casket match, I guess. I'm not giving it to one of the Royal Rumble matches. Yeah, the casket match, even though it was just a bit boring. What a nice week. Join me next week for an actual review. Cheerio.